All right. That's right. We're rocking and rolling and whatnot. Getting funky. Like a monkey. It's getting kind of chunky. Acting all spunky. Good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome to the show. It's Friday. That's right. It's Friday. And it's going to be on. That's right. We're live today on this beautiful Friday morning. It's actually freaking cold out right now. It's weird, man, because I got the heater on, but because I woke up and I turned the heat on because I was under the blanket all night. I didn't have the heat on. It was fine, but I woke up, I turned the heat on, and now while it's still working, it's weird because maybe it's just because I've been in Florida for so long, I never needed the heat on, but it's like I can feel that the heat is working and that it's hot, and yet I'm still really cold. But I feel the heat. It's weird. Anyway, Greg Jonick was first. What's up, Greg? Good to see you. Great to have you here on this beautiful Friday morning. Here's your number one first happy dance of the day. All right, yes. And of course, round of applause. King Stu 2000 was number 2. He said, good morning, all. That's everybody. That's all it is. Yeah. Let's see. We got Little Chihuahua Big World. Good morning, Rash Crew. That's what I'm talking about. Hello to you. We got Doc Lido. Good morning, Doc. News Now Enemy. What's up? Like that smash button, people. You know it. Highway Star, News Now Enemy, Little Chihuahua, Big World. There's my Highway Star, yeah. All right. Florida Jim's in the house. What's up? Good morning, Florida Rashers Breakfast Club. That's right. I love it. I love it. I love it. David E. Persons, where are my pants? Hey, man, you're on the internet, dude. You can, we don't want to know what you're wearing or not, more importantly. Mr. Thomas is here. Did you get my email? Yes, I did. In fact, I'm going to drop a link to you guys right now. Because I like to support the new channels. There's a new channel of an anti-frauditor channel. What the heck was it called? I thought I had it right here. My brain just completely shut down. Did I drop the link? Yeah, there it is. It's the Lucid Dream. Yes. There's a new anti-frauditor channel called the Lucid Dream. You guys definitely should check them out. We might play one of their videos, but I got a lot on deck today, so we'll see if we get to it. But yes, I got the email. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. Am I Star, Florida Jim, David Persons, people. Let's see. Greg Jonick, Little Chihuahua, Terry Barnes. He says, good morning, my friends. God bless you all. God bless you too, sir. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Griffey is here all the way from Australia. Who do you need to tie up to get first? What do you need to do to get first place? All right. Let's see. Little Chihuahua, Griffey, Greg Jonick, Cynthia Karen Shaw is here. What's up? Great to see you, Cynthia. Let's see. Oh, there's the real Doc Leno. What's up? Hello, good people. Hello. And has. Oh, man, that's great. Little Chihuahua, Cynthia, Terry Barnes, Griffey, Lucid Dream. Yeah, okay. Jason Gutterman. All right, is that everybody? All right, looks like I'm caught up already. That was quick. Oh, Electric Glad 28 is here. All right, hello, all leaving today. Will not have internet, so all of you behave, be good, and be careful. Oh, thank you so much for all the support while you were here. Have a great time, whatever you're doing when you're leaving. God bless. Hope everything's all right. And thank you so much for joining us today. Lisa Alcazar is here. Happy Friday. Hello, Lisa. Great to see you. All right. So here's what's going on. So today, I got a couple things that I want to do. First of all, in case you didn't know, he's back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, last night, our Nevada judges premiered the part 1 of the new Kim Blandino trial. And in part 1, Kim testifies. And oh, man, is there a plethora of stuff in there. So we got to watch that. And what's cool is it ends on a cliffhanger. It's like in the middle of his testimony, everything just stops. But part 2 premieres today at 10:30. So we could watch part 1 now, and then you only have to wait until 10:30 Central for our Nevada judges to play part 2, and then you get to see the rest of what happens. Oh, man, I can't wait to see what comes next. But that video in part 1 is like an hour and a half long. And then the new Dummy Kruger video, I have to show it. It's too good. It's too good. I have to. But that's like 46 minutes. So that's a lot of stuff to cover right there. So I'm thinking that I want to just jump right into it and get it going. But before we do that, just, business and announcements and all that. Of course, tomorrow I am taking the day off. I'm going to spend my entire Saturday with the kids. So no show tomorrow. However, what do you mean, however? It's going to be great. And then I'm not doing the show tomorrow, but I did get a message from the Frauditor News Network from Maggie Cupcake, and she said that if we were doing the show tomorrow, she'd be up to it. So that means she's feeling better. So that's great. So God bless her, and thank goodness she's feeling better right now. She's done with chemo. She only has like one more round of radiation therapy or whatever, and then she's done with that. So that's great for her. Yay. Oh, wait, I could hit the applause button. What am I doing? All right, and then of course, last night on Declano's story time, Ray was actually on the panel with him and me. We were all there. It was great. Cool Clearwater was there, and Ray gave us the update on, now that she's home after her trip and everything, and we got the whole story. So that was great. God bless her. I'm glad that she made it home safe. Again, her health, obviously, she had the big announcement probably a month ago now. I don't know that her health actually took a turn for the worse. So there's that, but we still, hope that she feels better, and God bless her, and hope everything turns out okay. And we're glad that she made it home safe. And I want to keep her spirits high as much as we can. We love Ray. We love Maggie. I love Maggie. Come on. I love you guys. I love so much love. Nothing. See, this channel is all about love and happiness and having fun. Ding dong dang dag nabbit. Yes. All right. So anyway, guys, I'm trying my best here. What are you gonna do? I'm just glad I didn't accidentally have a hot mic like yesterday. No, we're just having fun. But like I said, the day one of the Kim Blandino thing is like, the video is like almost an hour and a half. So, and there's just too much meat on the bone for me not to play the whole thing. Like, because first of all, if you guys don't know Kim Blandino, if you don't know who that is, you're in for a treat, because this guy is something else entirely. And if you do know, believe me, his testimony that I'm about to play does not disappoint. Oh my goodness, it's insane. Anyway, what's cool is the way our Nevada judges edited this together. The first thing you're going to see is just a short little clip. It's called a cold open in the biz. When we make these videos in the biz, it's called a cold open when you play a little clip from what's coming up later. And they play just like 2 seconds of his testimony. And all you have to do is see that. Remember, this is testimony in open court. Okay? So just watch that open. And if you don't know Kim Blandino, after watching that, you should be hooked, because this is how this guy is. So I'm going to play the whole thing. I'll probably pause a couple of times in between, for commentary or whatever. But our Nevada judges is usually really good about us covering their stuff, because court proceedings are public anyway. But our Nevada judges, technically, they could go after you for copyright because it's their footage of it specifically. But they're usually really good about that, so I'm not worried about that. But love our Nevada judges, support them, definitely check them out. And specifically, again, in the middle of this testimony, it just stops, because he was on the stand for so long. And once you see him testifying, you'll understand why, because every single word, it's almost like with the sovereign citizens, the way like every word is like, if you say, travel, no, it's drive. Or if you say drive, no, it's travel, right? If you say understand, no, I don't stand under. Like, that's how this guy is. Like, every word, like, oh, what do you mean by that? What's the definition you're using? Like, so anyway, it just cuts off in the middle of the testimony. But remember, part 2 premieres on our Nevada judges. So go check it out at 10:30 a.m. Central Time today. So just a few more hours. So you watch this, then finish up the show, and then go get something to eat or do whatever you're doing, and then come back, and it'll be time to watch part 2, and you could get a full dose of Blandino. So let's get it started, because like I said, this is a long video, so let's just jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Blandino takes the stand.
Hit on the head with a big giant purse just for wearing this shirt. Atheists that attack me. So and that was where J. State appearances for the record.
Like that, you got
Defense.
Morning, Your Honor. Joseph Thurston, 13876, representing Mr. Blandino, who is to my left, who wishes me to tell the court that is here in the custody of parole and probation.
He's on parole probation.
He's on probation, Your Honor.
Okay,
I believe last time I said he was at liberty, and you wanted me to correct that.
all right. That being said, then this was a continuation of the trial. State arrested on this initial case. All right, and then defense. For the witness, anybody who's a witness, potential witness on the Blandino matter, please wait outside and do not discuss your testimony with any other witness. That being said.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to stop it already. First of all, that clip of him on the stand just now, and I was wearing this shirt, and somebody hit me with a purse for wearing it. This shirt is Exhibit J. Like, that's testimony in open court. Anyway, you'll see coming up how it is. But I didn't even think about this, but I have to put this in perspective, you guys. You have to understand that this whole thing, this specifically, because he's had so many crimes and so many trials. We've been covering him for years. This whole thing, this specifically, is over traffic tickets. It's Kim Blandino, man.
State, arrested defense. You wish to call any witnesses?
Before I do that, Your Honor, I'd like to move to dismiss. I don't know if you want to hear an argument on that or not, or.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. Essentially, Your Honor, it's the state's, the defense's position that the state did not prove beyond beyond a reasonable doubt that, as required, that Mr. Blandino was a resident of the state of Nevada as required by the statutes that he's being charged with. So as you recall, there were multiple witnesses. None of them actually proved that he was a resident. And in fact, I think one of the witnesses from PNP was showing records that Mr. Blandino had filled out. And they were saying that they proved residence, I guess, by listing his a Las Vegas address. As you recall, we pointed out that anytime Mr. Blandino filled out one of those documents, it was as a care of. There was no proof that he was actually a resident. As well, filed into the record, and I believe we asked the court to take judicial notice of it, was Mr. Blandino's, I always get this wrong, rescission or your citizenship?
Yeah, loss of nationality.
Loss of nationality. He is not a citizen of the United States. He rescinded that many years ago. So as a result, he's not a resident. He can't be a resident. So the statute requiring him to register his vehicle only applies to residents. He's not a resident. Then with regard to the statute that regarding the license, the actual, I'm sorry, Your Honor, the actual possession of a light driver's license, it was recently changed, but the prior one that we're operating under in this case said specifically, if you don't have a driver's license, there's two things you can do. The state shall require him to get a driver's license, or he has to produce a document that he can't get a driver's license, which we did file into the record. There's a document that says he rescinded his citizenship and the DMV will not give him a driver's license. So as a result of that, again, I don't believe there's any issue there at all for the state to pursue. So given all of that, the totality there, we're looking at a situation where there's one statute that just really doesn't apply because he can't get a driver's license, and the other, the state has not proven that he is a resident, requiring him to have a Nevada registration. Now, the interesting part, Your Honor, is it's not like he was driving around willy-nilly without a registration, had a legitimately registered vehicle in the state of Montana. So he's not driving around without a driver's license or anything like that. He is driving, it's a permanent permanent registration. So given all of that, I think the state has failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Blandino is guilty of the crimes they have alleged to have charged him with.
Before proceeding further, Mr. Dickerson, I got a notice of denial of disqualification under NRS 43.550. That's a document that we're talking about. It's in the record. I don't know if you have a copy of that or
I
not.
may have a copy of it somewhere here. Can I see that just for the time being?
Yeah, I mean, that was the part where he talked about, I don't know if it's an exhibit.
Right, right. The note, it indicates that unsatisfactory documentation to receive a driver's license, right?
Yeah, that's the one you're talking about?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure
Yes.
because it's referred, and we have not had that exhibit posted. I understand it's a motion to dismiss the charge.
Yeah, so Mr. Blandino shows up to the DMV without the documentation necessary to get a driver's license, and all of a sudden, he can drive around in the state of Nevada without a driver's license. That's his argument. There's further arguments that hey, it's my time to argue.
Objection, Your Honor.
But no, he has the right to argue.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's arguing.
it doesn't look like it.
This is your motion, so you have a right to respond to it. Go ahead, Mr. Dickerson.
And then further that he's no longer a U.S. citizen because he filed some paperwork apparently with Nevada Secretary of State. This is all baloney. That's the bottom line. Under NRS 483.114, what we've already proven is that his legal residence is here in the state of Nevada over on 16th Street. I believe it's 441 North 16th Street is what we've established over and over and over again. And that's been his address for years. It was his address at the time of this offense. And because of that, he is a resident. We look to his argument that he's given up his U.S. citizenship. So bottom line is, a person cannot renounce their U.S. citizenship just by filing some paperwork with the Nevada Secretary of State. It just doesn't work that way. In fact, that's an issue that is reserved for the United States government, not for the Secretary of State of Nevada, not for the defendant on his own. This is something that is in law under Chapter 8 of the United States Code, under the Immigration and Naturalization Act. In fact, this is not only would the defendant need to sign paperwork, but he would actually need to swear it out, and he would need to do that with the federal government. Here I have a case. I'll provide a copy to the defense counsel. This comes out of Washington, D.C. This is Lozado Colon v. U.S. Department of State. Here's a copy for your honor. This case generally talks about what occurs when a person renounces their U.S. citizenship. And here in this case, what's unique is that it was actually denied. So this was an individual that was a citizen of Puerto Rico who sought to renounce his United States citizenship in, a separatist effort, but remaining in Puerto Rico. And because he sought to remain in Puerto Rico, similar to how Mr. Blandino seeks to remain in the state of Nevada, it was denied. And so he was not able to renounce his U.S. citizenship. It's not something that he could just do willy-nilly. The fact of the matter is that Mr. Blandino is a United States citizen, despite him not wanting to be a United States citizen.
On the driver's license, I mean, he showed me documents under NRS 43.4550 request to disqualification. That statute specifically says that a person must provide a driver's license. Must be driving with a driver's license. And if not, court shall require any person convicted to obtain a valid driver's license to produce notice of disqualification of the department. Which he has done, but that doesn't exclude or excuse the right to drive. It's unlawful for any person to drive a motor vehicle on a public highway, street or highway in the state without being a holder of a valid driver's license. It doesn't even say that a valid Nevada driver's license. It's a valid license. So.
Right, and
Whether or not he's given, and I don't mean to interrupt, but notice of denial of disqualification is one of the requirements that the court is required to order him to do to show that he can't get a license. That doesn't exclude the driving. So as to the no driver's license issue, motion's denied at that time. As to the registration, you understand the argument they're making on that.
that he's
That it's
not,
not a resident,
right.
that it is a registered vehicle out of Montana. Proceed on that argument.
Yeah, so that goes to his whole argument there is that he renounced his US citizenship, so he can't be a resident. And then anytime he's written his address, which has been established as in fact being his address, where he lives, his legal residence, he writes Kara or C/O in front of his address. It's just typical sovereign citizen rhetoric to try to get around the laws of this state, the state, and the laws of the United States. Bottom line is that is also baloney, right? We have proven that for years he's lived at this address based upon records, based upon testimony. This is where his registered address has been for all these years, and including the time that this stopped happening. So he is a resident. That's the bottom line. Is renouncing his U.S. citizenship is not an actual thing. He has not done.
Mr. Christie, your response.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I take umbrage with the constant use of the word baloney. Come on. However, Title 8 U.S. Code 1481, Section A2, basically says a person who is a national of the United States, whether by birth or naturalization, shall lose his nationality by voluntarily performing any of the following acts with the intention of relinquishing United States nationality. Section 2, taking an oath or making an affirmation or other form of declaration of allegiance to a foreign state or a political subdivision thereof after having attained the age of 18 years. Mr. Blandino has done that. That's the only requirement. It doesn't say you have to go to the State Department or do anything like that. He went to the county clerk and made a declaration that he, in his mind, is a citizen of the Kingdom of Israel. The clerk of the county took that in, wrote it, and granted it. So as far as he's concerned, whether or not that was, the procedure in his mind, that would obviate any intent on the part of Mr. Blandino, thus not making it criminal, because to him, he is not a citizen of the United States, and he is not a resident of the state of Nevada. Okay, so under 8 U.S.C. 1481, that's where we go with that. With subsection 2, A2, I'm sorry. With regard to the, and again, with regard to and this is interesting, if you look at Mr. Dickerson, sorry, actually got it wrong.
Okay, so just real quick, for anyone who hasn't been following the Blandino thing, just to sort of like what's going on right now, where we're at, what this is all about. Basically, so he has an extensive criminal record, but at this point, what's happening is he wanted to represent himself. He didn't want a lawyer at all. But what happened was he was going through forever. Like you'll hear, like during the testimony, they're talking about things that happened in the 90s and all these. So why is this still going on now? Because what he was doing was you can. I mean, everyone has the right to do this. If you don't want a lawyer, of course, you could say, I want to represent myself. But also, you could put in a motion to have the judge recused or removed, whatever the specific term, I don't remember off the top of my head. But you can request that the judge be removed for different reasons. Like, for example, if my niece is a lawyer, if someday she became a judge and then I got pulled over, I went to court and she was the judge that got assigned the case, I could put in a motion to have her removed because she's biased, whether it's for you or against you, you can do that. So no matter who the judge was, Blandino would just put that motion in. So like, okay, you don't get this judge, so we'll give you a different judge. So he'd get a different judge, put in the same motion. Okay, you can't have this judge, so you get this judge. So he'd put in the same motion every time until it got to a point where he was declared a vexatious litigant. In other words, okay, now it's time to stop ignoring his motions, because no matter what, he's going to put in the same motion every time. So then after that, that's when they started telling him, okay, you really need a lawyer. No, I don't want one. You really need a lawyer. No, I don't want one. So the guy who's his lawyer now, the judge ordered, you have no choice. I mean, you still technically, because of your right to represent yourself, we can't force the lawyer on you, but we can force standby counsel on you. So they ordered he has to have this guy. There was one of the trials of Blandino trials that happened just relatively recently, was this lawyer filed a motion to be removed because he couldn't deal with Blandino. He was done with him. He's like, look, I can't put up with this guy's nonsense. No matter what I say or do, he disagrees with me. It doesn't matter. The judge was like, sorry, you have to take this case and you have to do your best job you can with it, because no matter what lawyer we give him, he's going to do the same thing. So at this point, if we remove you, then we bring in someone else and he's going to remove that guy. And then, it's just never going to end. So sorry, you have to be his lawyer. So now this guy's trying his best to represent someone who he knows he can't represent, because Blandino's just going to give him a hard time. So right now he's trying to set the basis for Blandino's testimony. And what's great about it is, just like with the sovereign citizens and the frauditors and all these guys, right? It's never, hey, because ultimately in a trial like this, the question is very simple. And I'm going to oversimplify it. Of course, there's more to it than that, as you'll see. But just in general, the idea is like, you get pulled over and you don't have a license. Okay. So did you just forget to put it in your wallet that day? Did you just not have it on you? Or did you actually not have a valid license at the time? That's the question. So you testify as to why you didn't have your license, because you actually didn't. You're guilty of not having a license, or you had it, but you just didn't have it physically with you at that moment, whatever it is, right? You either had the license or you didn't. But they will, all of them, right? All the sovereign citizens, all of these frauditors, all these guys will make arguments that, well, I didn't have a license because I don't need one. And all their testimony will be about jurisdiction or about this or about that, but nothing about whether or not they actually were guilty of driving without a license. It'll always be explanations and reasons as to why they wouldn't need to have one in the first place. And that's basically what this comes down to. And as you'll see as we go, all of his testimony is going to have absolutely nothing to do with the question at hand. It's all going to be about his residency and him trying to admit into evidence, like just all kinds of, like the t-shirt, just like random stuff. This t-shirt is evidence. Why? Because I was wearing it. Like, no, Kim, that's not the way the judicial process works. You'll see. Just wait till Kim takes the stand. If you think this stuff is boring, don't worry, guys, because once Kim Blandino takes the stand, everything is going to go completely off the rails, and it's going to be absolutely off the wall, batshit crazy. Watch.
It's NRS 483.141, not 114. It's 141. This is, which is he's talking about, but the statute that talks about, which is 550, which is the one that actually talks about the driver's license. Just give me a second around so I can find it. There were two statutes. It was modified. It was amended in 2023, post the incident, where it initially said, again, if you're going to drive on the driver's license, you either you have a court shall require any person convicted of violating this section to obtain a driver's license or produce a notice of disqualification to the department. Then after 2023, they input that statute and say, if you don't, now you're guilty of a misdemeanor. So we're talking about the statute that does not contain the guilty of a misdemeanor information. So again, the standard really isn't even beyond a reasonable doubt, because we're not using the misdemeanor language in that sense. But again, Mr. Blandino has complied with the statutes that asked him, if you're not going to do this, either get a driver's license or produce this document. And my point is, what is the court going to do if they find that he is, guilty of this? It's either require him to get a driver's license or provide a document. He provided the document.
But there's a fine attached to that without any suspense.
There is no, not, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't mean to say that, but there isn't, Your Honor, because again, the way our system works is if there's no punishment provided for in a statute, we default to it's a misdemeanor, and misdemeanors default to the 6-month, $1,000 fine. But that does not apply if the statute has the punishment built into the statute. And again, one, it's not a misdemeanor because you can see that the legislature fixed this in 2023. There must have been some kind of a problem by adding the language guilty of a misdemeanor. So our argument would be, one, it's not a misdemeanor at the time that this happened, but number two, the punishment is contained in the statute. You can either require him to get a driver's license or have him file this document.
That's a little different then, because if I find him guilty of that, then I'm restricted on what I can issue penalty-wise. Your argument right now is that the state hasn't met its burden as showing in the initial case that it's violated the 2 statutes that he's on trial for.
That is correct, Your Honor.
So
And
we're kind of getting in front of.
I understand that I may be on not the best ground with the license aspect, but I'm making the argument. As far as the registration is concerned, again, I mean, what can I say? That you were here, you saw the record. Every time, Mr. Blandino, smart like fox, he put down care of every time that he was asked to put his address in. The state simply has not proven that he is a resident of Nevada, requiring him to register a vehicle in Nevada. His vehicle was registered in Montana on a permanent registration.
State. Any further to respond to that? Mr. Gerson has the last say on that.
The evidence is clear. That's the problem.
Mr. Gerson, any further?
Mr. Blandino is asking me to just remind the court that the requirement is of a legal resident. That is the term in the statute, that it is legal residence. As a result, again, we don't.
He's arguing that because he was under the restrictions of probation, he's not allowed to leave, and therefore he was not considered a legal resident because they require him to stay in.
Correct, Your Honor.
Therefore, he cannot be considered a resident, and a registration of another vehicle in another state would be sufficient.
As well, Your Honor, as well. And
As
again,
the license,
I'm sorry.
as well as the license.
Well, Your Honor, my client's going to testify. I mean, but what I can tell you is, Mr. Dickerson did put into evidence Mr. Blandino's Kingdom of Israel passport, which he believes affords him the opportunity to drive as a resident of the Kingdom of Israel, Your Honor. So again, the question of, the state has the burden of showing beyond a reasonable doubt that they fit all the elements of the crime, that Mr. Blandino, fit all the elements of the crime. I do not believe that Mr. Blandino was intentionally, doing this. Again, I think I'm better grounds on the resident argument than the driver's license argument. But again, that's kind of where we stand right now.
So one thing, to the Kingdom of Israel. When the Kingdom of Israel existed, there were no cars. There was no driver's license. That's because the Kingdom of Israel existed until approximately 930 BC. So nothing that he's arguing right now has any merit whatsoever in the law or in fact.
All right. Any further from you, Mr. Gerson?
Do we want to
have
talk-
the last?
Yeah, I know, but do we want to talk about that, the signing of the Constitution, the Second Amendment, AR-15s?
Any further?
No.
All right. At this time, the court does find Deny the motion at this time. I think there was enough evidence at least you brought this matter. I'm going to deny your motion at this time to dismiss. State defense, call your first witness.
Well, Your Honor, I understand that Mr. Blandino himself would like to testify. As the defendant in the case, Your Honor, I have admonished him of his Fifth Amendment rights to not do that. I have discussed with him the implications, pros, cons, etc. Mr. Blandino, after hearing that, has decided that he still wishes to testify. Given that and knowing what he may or he intends to testify about, I don't believe that I can assist him in his testimony for various reasons. I'll be happy to explain them to you in a sidebar if you wish. However, Mr. Blandino wishes to testify. Excuse me? Yes.
Do you want a minute or two to talk to him? Because I'm going to canvass him regarding his right to testify.
No, Your Honor,
I'm assuming you have already.
we have, Your Honor, to ad nauseum. So again, I believe Mr. Blandino is going to have to testify in the narrative without my assistance. My apologies, Your Honor.
Go ahead, you can finish up. So he's
Yeah,
going to
that-
testify in the narrative.
He's going to testify in the narrative, however you would like him. You'd like him at the table on the.
Okay, real quick, I want to talk about this. So Parson, you're going to hear it during his testimony, but that's his whole thing is that, okay, so here's the thing. And this is important to understand because I am not coming after anybody for any of their religious beliefs or anything. I went to seminary school. I studied the Bible. I know everything that Blandino's going to be talking about when he gets on the stand, talking about the kingdom of Israel and all that. The problem is his interpretation of it. I don't think there's any actual organized religion that does this. I think he just came up with this on his own. But the idea is, and he's, again, you're going to hear him testify to it. The idea is that the kingdom of Israel, because like David said, Israel's a republic. The kingdom of Israel is supposed to be reestablished when Christ returns. So he's preparing for the return of Christ by basically writing a letter to the DMV saying, I'm not a citizen of the United States. I'm a citizen of the kingdom of Israel, which doesn't exist yet, which he himself will say on the stand. Now, we don't know when it's going to happen, but when it does, I want to be ready. So he's basically saying straight up, I'm a resident of a place that doesn't yet exist. Like, it doesn't work that way, Kim. It just, that's no. Yes, you have freedom of religion, but that's not a religious belief. That's just illogical. It doesn't make sense. It's just not right. Plus the fact that he, pretty much stays full-time in Nevada. But again, you'll see, because he's going to argue that. And is it crazy or is it genius? Well, I don't think it's genius because it has kept him out of, well, no, it hasn't kept him out of prison. He's served plenty of time over the years. And as far as crazy, like, it wouldn't be as funny if the dude was just a nut. But I covered on this very channel years ago when he was ordered a mental evaluation because the judge thought he was crazy. A different judge back in the day thought he was nuts and sent him to the evaluation. And they gave him a mental health evaluation. And they were like, he's perfectly sane. It's just his beliefs. You can't tell somebody they're nuts about their belief system. I mean, I guess you can if their belief system is that it's okay to, stab people in the neck with a pencil, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just because he believes and especially if the people he's talking to themselves are people who, are Christian or whatever, and they're like, yeah, the Bible does say that, you're right. But so you can't say, oh, you're nuts for thinking that it says what it says, because we all know it. Anyone who studied that knows it does say that, but it doesn't say all the way you're interpreting it. It's no, that's not right. but they declared him sane. So I don't know. Let's go back to it. Blandino is just wasting the court's time. Well, that's why he was declared a vexatious litigant, and that's why he's in the position he's in right now, is because the court thinks that his whole thing is just a game to waste time so he can do the least amount of time incarcerated as possible, which, again, it hasn't been working too well for him because he's done a lot of time in prison over the years. But you'll see. It all comes out in the testimony. It's wait till dude, I'm telling you, if you guys are watching this and you don't understand, wait till Kim gets on the stand. The things he says are so, and again, also, just so you're aware, again, in the middle of his testimony, it's just going to end. This is part one. Part two premieres on Our Nevada Judges today at 10:30 a.m. So after the show today, get something to eat, maybe, take a little break, do something, come back. 10:30, boom, Our Nevada Judges, the rest of his testimony. Oh, I can't wait to see how it goes. Hey, what's up, Paula Scotland? I haven't seen you in a minute. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just throw you a quick happy dance. Welcome to the show. Great to see you. All right. Yes, thank you so much. Yes. Graham, Kim's a professional nut job. Yes. As a duly appointed representative of the Almighty, I could clearly declare that he would not want you to have a license. Yes, Methodist Dave, thank you so much. And that's the thing. It's like, and again, it sort of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that, like, I'm a Christian, okay? So like I said, I went to seminary school. I studied the Bible. I know what he's talking about, but it's just the way he interprets it and the way he applies it is not, no, that's just not it. But because I don't want to sound like I'm coming down on making fun of this guy's religious beliefs. No, that's not it. It's the way he uses and interprets those beliefs is just, no, you don't do that. That's not, no, that's just not right. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But again, his testimony, just, believe me, you guys are not going to be disappointed when he hits the stand. The things he says are so off the rails. What's up, iKiss? Great to see you. Always great to have you here as well. Has anyone seen JC Landry, by the way? Is she in here right now? I don't know. If she shows up, I'll say this again because I want to make sure she knows. But yesterday when I went off the air, after the show was over, I got a message on my phone that I got a Cash App from her. So I wanted to thank her for it. But, I was already off the air, so it was too late. So I just wanted to make sure I let her know that I appreciate that. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
You don't come up on
To stand, et cetera. So.
All right. Mr. Blandino, can you please rise? Sir, you understand you have a constitutional right to testify and a constitutional right not to testify at this proceeding. You understand?
I do understand.
You understand nobody can comment on the fact that whether you decided to testify or not to testify. You understand?
I do understand.
You understand this is your sole decision to make. So no counsel will tell you to testify or tell you not to testify. You have the final sole decision. All right?
I do understand.
You understand that the state can then inquire as to any prior criminal history that you have. I don't know if you have any prior criminal history. They can inquire as to that, find out if there was conviction, and move on from there without getting into the facts of it, as long as you acknowledge that you have prior criminal history. If you do, you understand that?
I do understand.
Now, you understand that once you start testifying, that you are not allowed to then stop testifying if you decide not to invoke your Fifth Amendment right not to testify, or stop testifying, then the entire testimony will be tossed out. Do you understand that, sir? So you'll be subject to cross-examination by the state. Do you understand?
I believe you're incorrect on that. I think that's for a grand jury, but when it comes to you as the fact finder, my understanding is if there's a particular question that might be outside the scope of these proceedings, and it might cause me to be a witness against myself in something separate from this, I could invoke the Fifth Amendment.
That's true. It's something different. What I'm saying is if you cut up here and you start testifying as to the fact specific to this case,
Right.
then you refuse to answer any further questions, you can toss out your testimony. Do you understand?
That's understandable.
Relating only to this case, and I do agree that if I
Right.
start asking you anything outside
Right.
about any other criminal activity, your attorney would then ask that that be stricken or removed.
Well,
So I understand.
I do not like using that word incriminate. The constitutional provision
I don't
is that
care what you
to
like
be a
or do
witness
not
against
like.
yourself.
You understand, though,
That if it might
that
be.
you will
witness
refuse
against
to
yourself.
answer questions that are related specifically to these incidents,
Yeah.
to these facts, the elements of these charges, and you decide to invoke the fifth at that time, I will throw out your entire testimony. Do you understand that, sir?
As we discussed it here and clarified.
Do you wish to testify or not to testify
I
at this
do
time?
wish to testify.
You understand that the court controls the amount of evidence that comes, the kind of evidence that comes in, and if I find that the testimony that you're giving is not relevant, I can then stop you from testifying or have you move on. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
All
All
right.
right, move on.
That being said, is it your decision here today to testify?
Yes,
And you've done so after discussing this matter with your attorney.
yes.
Come take the stand, raise your right hand, face the clerk to be sworn.
I'm my religious beliefs and practices and the
Would you
prosecution.
affidavit?
Okay. All right. Now, before this is it, guys. This is it. It starts now. Okay. So right before that, though, I want to make sure that we all know what we're looking at and or what's going on. So I just put this in here. Matthew 5:34. Okay. This is what he's talking about. He doesn't quote it, right? But in Matthew 5:34, it talks about swearing oaths and how you should just tell the truth, right? How you shouldn't have to swear an oath to the Lord that you're going to tell the truth because everything you're saying should be true anyway. That's basically what it says. So based on that, he's about to argue. The next like 10 minutes are just him arguing about being sworn in because he refuses to take an oath and say, I swear. But then the judge says, you know what? That's actually a thing. We know that. And there's a rule saying that you could oath or affirm. But then he says, Blandino's argument is that the definition of the word affirm and the definition of the word swear are the same definition. And so he's not going to do either or. And it's like, no, that's why we have affirm instead of swears, because it's different. And no, and you'll see, this is it, guys. This is where it starts right here, right now. Everything, the train is absolutely about to derail. You guys are going to believe what you're going to hear from this guy. Holy crap, hammer sandwich sauce. This is craziness. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, women and children of all ages, the one, the only, Kim Blandino.
For this, I cannot raise my hand. I cannot swear or affirm, but I can declare under penalty of perjury that I will tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and that I can be prosecuted to tell anything that is not true.
You
Is that
understand?
acceptable?
The affidavit you're going to give is not under the penalty of perjury. It is not relying on under God. You understand? He will affirm and give an affidavit regarding that matter. You understand? You will raise your right hand, no, sir, on that matter. You understand?
I cannot do that. I can testify under penalty of perjury, understanding that I have to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I was gonna ask you, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Do I solemnly swear?
You affirm that the testimony that you're going to give
I cannot swear or
right now,
Do you affirm
Mr.
and
Gerster,
I cannot swear.
talk to him on this matter because this.
I supplied him with Gordon versus Idaho.
I will give him the affidavit, and I acknowledge that he doesn't have to swear under God or any deity. I will give him that. He is correct on that, but he will follow my directions.
I can declare under penalty of perjury. Can I declare?
You will go into custody. So if you want a minute or two to talk to him, you can talk to him.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I may.
Do you want me to go down there or can come over
You
here?
can go down there.
You want me to go down there?
Please come over here. Your Honor, my client has informed me he cannot affirm or swear, he will only declare. I have explained to him the situation. I don't know where to go from here. I have had this conversation with him numerous times, and again, we're kind of where we are. And that is why he is there right now and testifying on his own, so.
Mr. Dickerson, anything you wish to add on that? I mean, he's got a right to testify and affirm that the testimony is going to be truthful and under the penalty of perjury without having to swear allegiance to anything on that.
Right, so the statute's fairly clear, NRS 50.035. Before testifying, every witness shall be required to declare that he or she will testify truthfully by oath or affirmation, administered in a form calculated to awaken his or her consciousness and impress his or her mind with the duty to do so. So then it goes on to say it's sufficient, and it gives an option there. I guess that's how I read that. I guess that I would just inquiry is why he can't swear or affirm to tell the truth. Like
Well, no, I think he's agreeing to tell the truth. He just can't do an affirmation under God. So I guess we have you do solemnly swear to affirm the evidence you shall give in this matter. Shall be truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's an affirmation. I think that would satisfy the statute, correct? Each witness shall be required to declare that he or she shall testify truthfully by oath or affirmation, administered in a form calculated to awaken his or her conscience to impress on his or her mind duty to do so. So we ask him that you do solemnly affirm to testify that the evidence you will give in this matter between the state of Nevada and Mr. Dennis Blandino shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Assertion of this affirmation shall be made by the answering I do. Right?
that works.
All right. Sir, you solemnly affirm that your evidence and testimony you'll give in this issue between the state of Nevada and the case of Dennis versus Kim Dennis Blandino shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Can I consult with counsel?
No. This is, you
I-
already consulted with him. You either affirm that you will do give the affidavit. Assertion of that affirmation shall be made by the answer I do.
I gave him case law, Gordon versus Idaho, that affirming and swearing, and the court, no court can mandate it has to be by a particular form. All it has to do is strike the person's conscience, which it does, that I could be prosecuted for perjury. All the federal forms, the state forms of habeas, and even Nevada revised statutes allow for unsworn declarations. And if it's affirmed, if I can use the word I concur that
You
everything.
affirm, or you can affirm.
I cannot affirm because affirm is the same as swear. You're just using a rose by any other name is still a rose. You call it a tulip, it doesn't make it a tulip.
Either we do it, you just solemnly affirm the evidence and testimony you shall give in this matter between the state of Nevada and King Dennis Blandino shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but.
I can solemnly state that I have, and I can be prosecuted for perjury if I do not tell the truth. I mean, my conscience is as struck maybe more than 99%.
You do not affirm that you will, with the evidence and testimony you shall give.
I
in this
cannot
issue.
use the word affirm,
All right,
sir.
Mr. Blandino, Mr. Gersten, I don't know what else to do on this. I
Again,
need an
Your Honor,
affirmation from him, which is the subsection of the word affirm, affirmation.
Your Honor,
I mean, it's an affirmation. The root word is affirm.
yes,
That's an affirmation.
I don't disagree with you.
I can use the word confirm, Judge. I can use the word
You can
confirm.
use
but
the word
not-
affirm.
Affirm is the same as swearing.
So
Your Honor,
say affirm, and we have no problem.
You know, again, he is quoting Gordon versus Idaho, I think it was.
Gave you that case.
That's his problem. Obviously, you understand why he's now up there on his own without me. I don't know what else to, other than quoting that case. You know, this is his solemn belief, or I can't even use solemn.
Okay,
This is his
first
belief.
of all, Anastasia, you picked the perfect time to come. If you haven't seen this yet, Blandino's about to take the stand. Well, they're just trying to swear him in, and it's an argument because this is Kim Blandino. But once they swear him in and he starts testifying, his testimony is so mind-bogglingly insane. It's just off the rails, nuts. And again, for anyone that's just joining us and doesn't know, like I said, you're going to see in the middle of his testimony, everything's just going to stop and the video is going to end because he was on the stand for so long that our Nevada judges cut it into 2 pieces. But what's good is part 2 premieres on our Nevada judges today at 10:30 Central. So once again, don't forget after the show at 10:30 to check out our Nevada judges and to see part 2 of Blandino's testimony. Oh my goodness gracious me, but you're going to see this gets absolutely wild as soon as he starts getting into it. But again, it's already there and they're just trying to swear him in. And that's this Blandino, baby. He's the gift that keeps on giving. Almost like Chili in that everything he does, like if you see that there's a new Chili thing, it's like, oh, I got to watch it because it's not going to disappoint. It never does. But the difference is with Chili, it's nonstop. It's always with Blandino. It's like maybe once every 5-6 months or something, he'll go back to court and do another one of these. So I always cover him. Chili, I don't as much because it's nonstop with him. But this is great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Classic courtroom. I think every case he's ever done in court and every argument he's ever made in court is going to be something that's going to go down in the history books forever.
He can't do what you're asking him to do. Like, I have nothing further to add to that.
Mr. Dickerson? I don't know how this is so.
I testified in district court with Judge Levitt, and she accepted what I had said. Every other court I've been in where I've testified, and I have testified in other courts, they've had no problem with this. I didn't even anticipate it'd be a problem, but just in case, I gave Gordon versus Idaho, which has been sustained throughout the years. That was an 85 case, I believe, or 87. It says that no court can mandate it has to be in a particular form. As long as the individual given the testimony
by oath or
testimony
affirmation.
is struck,
Under Miranda versus
Their conscience
versus
is
state, I can give you oath or affirmation. That before testifying, every witness shall be required to declare that he or she will testify truthfully by oath or affirmation administered in the form calculated to awaken his or her conscience. So we go by oath. Accept that, Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
All right, so by oath, you would agree that testifying that the information that you're to give is truthful information under the penalty of perjury, and you will testify truthfully under oath.
my oath, my yes will be yes, my yes will
All right,
be
I
no.
understand that. All right, have a seat.
Thank you.
This is Mr. Blandino, you may proceed to the elements of these charges, and they give like testimony by way of
I have to give a foundation first, of course. My name is Kim Blandino for the transcript. I'll use the middle initial D, Dennis, I never used. So it's K-I-M, middle initial D, and then B-L-A-N-D-I-N-O. I was born in 1955 in Great Falls, Montana. I have an exhibit A to that. Here's a certification of birth record from Montana. I'd like to introduce that. That's exhibit A for the defense.
So he can testify, Your Honor, but he's not going to be representing himself in moving in exhibits out the art.
Mr. Gernston.
Yeah,
Your Honor, here's the problem. Give my declaration. I mean, I don't think the question of whether or not you're born as a citizen or not.
Again, Your Honor, you understand why I'm sitting here and not leading this testimony now. I don't know.
I don't see the relevancy of it. It'll be the court
I'll get
exhibit.
to that.
Allow it in there. Go ahead. For court exhibit only. Go ahead.
Okay. Is that going to be entered into?
It is court exhibit.
Court exhibit A. Okay.
The question, the issue is whether or not on the date of September 16, 2022, the resident failed to obtain a Nevada registration and drive without a valid license. Those are the issues that we need to address.
Right. Exhibit B is a letter of identification dated by my late parents, 1998, that I am who I say I'm in, referencing the passport that the defense has as exhibit 2 or 1, I don't know which one it is. That'll be exhibit B. Exhibit C is my Arizona identification legally obtained, showing the address, Highway 95, number 505, which is an address that has been maintained by me for at least 25 years, I think, which is not my legal address. It's also in care of Arizona. That's the copy of the Arizona ID. This was presented by Officer Martinez. And I presented that to her and she said, well, where's your license? That was when the question of the license was asked. Exhibit D is a declaration of expatriation filed with the county recorder here in 1993. This is a copy of a certified copy that after researching the law and at Title 8 subsection 2 allows me to lose my nationality without renouncing it at a consulate or anything. I intended to vow.
Can I object to him even having documents up there, Your Honor? It's inappropriate that he's up there with all this stuff.
If I may,
He's
Your
given
Honor.
a narrative, I'm gonna allow him.
Yeah, again, Your Honor,
It does go towards his defense and I'll allow it to go, all right?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's that everything he has up there, then when he gets off, when we take a break in between my cross, that I review every single thing that's up there.
Of course.
He will
Well,
not write any
whatever
research.
he's relying upon in testimony, obviously you have the right to review
I'm
that.
sorry, what word did he say he will do, what, sir?
All right. He'll review it.
Or review it, okay.
He has the right to review all those documents that
Oh,
you're
no,
relying upon in testimony.
agreed.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, this document clearly, and it was done in 1993, filed with the county recorder here, not with the Secretary of State, but it was filed with the county recorder, and these are certified copies that I have of these documents that gave my declaration and statement and purpose to give up to lose my U.S. citizenship, to make a vow to Jesus and to the Kingdom of Israel. It is quite a lengthy document. There are many pages in here, and I've stayed true to this since that 1993. I've been asked to vote, register to vote, and I said, look, I had a U.S. citizenship at one time because I was born in this country, but I expatriated. About 7,500 people a year expatriate from U.S. to some other country or entity or something. So it's not an uncommon thing to do. It's not required to do it at a consulate. So that would be Exhibit D, or wait a minute, let's see.
it's D, Ken.
Is it D? Okay, I've got a list of attorney there. This is an application for driving privileges at the thing, which is what I had to look at before they gave me this denial or disqualification that was filed in this court. In order for me to get this, I would have to perjure myself because it says, I hereby certify under penalty of perjury that all statements in this application are true and correct. And as this later document, the disqualification that was referenced here early would state, I am not a resident of Nevada, therefore I cannot get a driver's license among other reasons. But if I were to say that 441 is my legal residence, I would be committing perjury if I signed this document. I don't believe any court in the land can require me to commit perjury. Then, what do you have marked as a okay, this is the notice of disqualification, and I want to post this in as an exhibit. That's Exhibit G. The thing is they said, look, you can't get a driver's license for a number of reasons, and they posted them and they ran out of lines. This was validated, and this actually is a copy of a certified copy. I asked them to certify this copy for authenticity's sake and to be authenticated under the Nevada device statutes on authentication of documents. But the main thing was that I cannot, under my religious beliefs and practices, I cannot enter into a contract with the state of Nevada. The state of Nevada basically declared war on me anyway in 1992 when criminal charges were brought against me. That's Exhibit G. Exhibit H. This is a public law 97.2 AO 96 statute 1211. It's where the Congress said They authorized, they designated 1983 as the National Year of the Bible in recognition of both the formative influence of the Bible for our nation and the need to study and to apply the teachings of the Holy Scripture. This is what I, in part, relied on in losing my nationality in 1993. When I saw that Ahab and Jezebel was elected co-presidents of the United States, that would be Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, their co-presidency, as they called it, I said, there's something rotten in Denmark here, and I need
Listen,
to.
we're focusing on.
I understand that.
So I understand that you're saying that you're not a resident of the United States or a resident of Nevada or a citizen of the United States. So I'm allowing you a little leeway on that, but we will move
Okay.
on from there. You understand?
Okay, I've got two addresses for Israel. Now, the state of Israel is separate from the kingdom of Israel. The state of Israel at present is in stewardship for the kingdom of Israel when Jesus returns for a second time, which is predicted, prophesied, and it's going to happen at some point into the future. We don't know. So I've got two addresses that I can go to as soon as I am able to go back to Israel, which it would be the state of Israel, but if by the time I get there, it could be the kingdom of Israel. This is the Mount Olives Hotel, 97 Rabbah Al Adawaya Street, Jerusalem. And then there's the Abraham Jerusalem Hotel in Jerusalem as well. I also have written on this is exhibit 8, exhibit I exhibit. And it shows that Montana registration address, which was on the registration, and the plates that Officer Meade or Detective Meade then confiscated. That's a care of 31903 Lost Creek Lane, Ronan, Montana. I can go to that residence at any time. That's the state of my birth. Exhibit J. This is a shirt I was wearing that night. I mean, the same shirt I was wearing. I've got 20 some of these. Says Trump now, Jesus forever, socialism equals slavery, Savior equals self-rule. As part of my ministry and being an ambassador for Jesus, this has been a godsend. God called me to make these shirts. And wherever I go, I get comments, some negative, some positive. I've been hit on the head with a big giant purse just for wearing this shirt. Atheists have attacked me. So that was wearing, that's Exhibit J. Exhibit K is the Montana registration at issue. It was a permanent registration. Actually, they say it's permanent, and it really only is good until the year 9999, so it expires. So that gives the Lost Creek Lane address, 31903 Lost Creek Lane, Ronan, Montana, which I can go to at any time. A friend of mine owns that property. That is Exhibit K. Exhibit L, after Detective Meade stole the license plates with no cause off that truck on that night of that stop. These are permanent replacement plates.
So, because the officers can confiscate the license plates if they find that it's unregistered, it's a violation.
It was clearly not registered. I produced the
It
registration.
is stricken, that statement. Go ahead.
Okay, they confiscated it. Can I use that?
You can say that, yes.
Okay, they confiscated the license plate. I was never able to recover them. I had to get replacement plates from Montana. And these are those. This is Exhibit L. Exhibit M is the clerk of the U.S. District Court. This is an envelope. From there, I have some suits pending. And you'll notice on there, care of 441 Street. If I were to maintain that as my legal address with the court, they could prosecute me for some kind of misstatement or false statement to the court. Exhibit N, this is a letter from then Chief Judge Dew because they were having some filing problems and stuff of the U.S. District Court for the District of Nevada. It has the care of 441 North 16th Street. Again, this is dated May 12, 2023. And that's Exhibit N. This has my change of address from the jail, I think. No, it wasn't of the jail, the May 10, 2023, based on what showing the care of 441 North 16th. Exhibit O, this is I was prosecuted in Las Vegas Municipal Court in 2000. Ticket started in 2013. I went to trial for not having a driver's license. I was found not guilty. Unfortunately, this is not a certified copy that I can certify under penalty of perjury that they were found not guilty, showing the same documents that were presented here in the prosecution's exhibit, and then on my exhibit, I was found not guilty of driving without the same charge here of a valid driver's license. So that was there was no judge or jury, obviously. That was Judge Roger in municipal court, Susan Roger. Exhibit P. Uh-oh. I pulled those statutes out of there. Joe, can I get those statutes?
May I approach your honor?
I've got two of those on the table. Before I did all this, I wanted to make sure I was not violating the law. I don't want to violate the law. As a matter of fact, presently, and I'll have this in a subsequent exhibit, I am mandated under conditions of my probation to obey all laws, local, state, and federal. And of course, if any of those happen to be in violation of the Constitution, I still have not been negated the possibility to make a constitutional argument. The statute is unconstitutional at the time. But if it is constitutional, I'll obey it. Before embarking on all this in 1993 and throughout the years, so I studied the law carefully from the 80s on, I have studied the statutes and that are relevant to this very issue. NRS, this is one of the statutes I researched, NRS 293 Form 487.
Hey, speaking of which, that reminds me, it's time for the Cupcake Happy Dance. Let's go. Where's that music? Here we go. All right. Okay. Ole! All right, yes. All right. Imagine if Chili and Blandino were in the same cell. Oh no. Hey, they're both in Nevada. Hey, our Nevada judge. If those two meet, oh man. Hey, what's up, Katie said? I wasn't going potty, dagnabbit. Blandino's testimony is forever. It's really long. And again, for everyone who's just joining me, and you haven't been following or you don't know what's going on. So right now I'm playing Blandino's testimony from yesterday. In the middle of his testimony, this video is going to just stop. Our Nevada judge is playing part 2 with the rest of his testimony at 10:30 a.m. Central Time today. So after the show, if you want to see what else he says after this, you could go and check that out. Absolutely, definitely go check out our Nevada judges and watch the rest of Blandino's spiel. He is so completely off the rails. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Here we go.
No person may gain or lose residence by reason of your presence or absence while skipping down to 3, an inmate of a public institution. So on that.
Let me stop you there,
Yeah.
because these are arguments for whether or not he's guilty.
This is not an argument. This is what I studied, Judge.
So that's not relevant.
Isn't that
It's
foundation?
not relevant at this point as an argument of whether or not the state has met its burden or whether or not the case should be dismissed. This
Okay.
is testimony today regarding whether or not you were driving on a motor vehicle on the highway which the public has access to, where you were not in possession of the valid driver's license or valid driver's license, and your vehicle was not registered on September 16th, 2022. That is what we're focusing on.
And my
These
testimony,
other arguments are legal arguments. Mr. Gersten can make those arguments at the time of the final argument, all right?
okay, but
We'll move on from there.
my
We'll move
testimony,
on from there.
my
We'll
testimony,
move on from there?
I am moving on.
All right,
My
so,
testimony is that that is not my legal residence, 441 North 16th.
that's a
my
legal
legal
argument.
residence-
That's a legal argument. We'll move on from there.
Well, it's a matter of fact in my mind.
I understand that, and that's a legal argument that Mr. Gersten is going to be making. You can say that you were on probation or parole, that you were.
Okay, so Edward, before that was the whole thing. Before Blandino testified, his lawyer told the judge, "I've been talking to," and this lawyer and Blandino have been going back and forth for months now. And the lawyer tried to drop, and the judge would not allow him to drop the case. He's like, no, because every lawyer he gets, it's the same thing. He's just going to keep doing this forever. We have to do this sometime. So you're the guy. Sorry. So before he started testifying, his lawyer said, look, no matter what happens, he's not going to agree with anything I say. So when it comes to his testimony, I can't help him. I'm telling you, Your Honor, he's going to go up there and do his thing, and I'm washing my hands of it. Like, no, like, I'm not getting involved because I already know what he's going to say, and I told him he shouldn't. He insisted that he has to, so he's going to get up there. He's going to say his thing, and I'm just going to, I don't know. I'm not going to get involved. So that was already established. And as far as the judge letting him go on and on and on, that was the thing that the judge was telling him before he started testifying. That whole spiel that the judge gave him was basically saying, look, this is your testimony. So, unless you start getting way off the subject. But right now, even though it's way off the subject, he's introducing evidence. Like his T-shirt. He introduced his T-shirt as evidence. All right, whatever. Let's let this shit show keep going.
Required to stay in California and Nevada, you can show proof of that, and that would then go to the argument of whether or not you were able or required to have a registered vehicle. All right?
Okay, well, these statutes that I copied from the NRS, that would be Exhibit P. Exhibit Q, after we left the court last time in this bifurcated trial, I went to get parole probation to see if they would give me an out-of-state travel permit, which I was granted an out-of-state travel permit. And in the reasons they said, it states here, let's see, to escort a friend, part of religious.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. First of all, I noticed Unclean Hands is here. Unclean Hands. If you guys didn't see his most recent medical update video, he is at the moment cancer free. All right. Also, we got 3 Aussie dollars from Jackson D. Dollars. Happy dance for Gary T. Hey, it came from Jason D. A happy dance for Gary T. All right. I'm a poet, and you know it. And here's your happy dance. All right. Yes. Yes, yes. Thank you so very, very, very much. I appreciate it. Unclean Hands, thank you. Thank you. They're dollar dues. Okay. We got $3 dues. That's awesome. Yay. Anyway, back to the video, guys.
Please. So that would be Exhibit Q. That just shows that I have to have written permission in order to leave the state. This trip ended up not happening. She didn't have to go, but she needed an escort. She asked for an escort, and I was going to escort her despite the risk of going out of state. I think there was some false testimony or misleading testimony.
Objection.
I need
Stating
to
the
rebut.
objection as to any testimony given. You may testify.
I
as to
rebut
what
any
you want to
testimony.
say. This is not time for you to rebut.
Okay.
You can give testimony regarding the issue of driving without a registration or no valid license on September 16th, 2022.
Okay. Well, Exhibit R is an order to travel out of state, which I did go see my son get his PhD, and this was granted in 2021. So I wasn't here all that time. I did get permission to travel. Let's see. Exhibit S is the NRS, which I studied on foreign public documents and me being able to authenticate foreign public documents, which my passport there's included, which will be a further exhibit. This is my judgment of conviction, which relates to residency in the trial and puts me on probation. This was conviction July 12, 2022, and the judge ordered, "You shall not leave the state without first obtaining written permission from the Division of Parole and Probation," which is what that document did. Didn't need to use it. So that makes me a prisoner of parole probation. U is the amended judgment of conviction. Now, this amended judgment conviction came right after the jailing of me, and so the judge added this provision in there. Do not drive a motor vehicle in the state of Nevada without a valid driver's license issued by the state of Nevada and the Department of Motor Vehicles. I have not violated this order, not even 1 inch with that truck. I did not drive, even though I think she went beyond her scope with that order, but I did not violate it. That's exhibit U.
At this point, Your Honor, I'm just gonna move to strike all of it, if it's up.
Well, I think there's some relevancy regarding his JOCs, not, the argument that he is making, the argument is that he is a prisoner of this and is unable to get registration because of that. So that does become somewhat relevant.
And then
Last part about
on the
that.
argument part, I object as an improper legal opinion.
And I agree with you. I think I made that argument or statement that is reserved for closing arguments. So I'll sustain that as to any legal arguments. Go ahead.
My exhibit V, defense exhibit V, is the passport, Kingdom of Israel passport. The district attorney was kind enough to provide me the means to make a duplicate. Everything on this is true. I'm an ambassador of Christ, Kingdom of Israel, born in 1955, tribe of Judah, Israelite, birthplace Great Falls, Montana. Produced in August of 5th, 1993, sex male, brown hair, that's gone a little bit. Salt and pepper, hazel eyes. 5'8" when I did it, I shrunk about 1.5 inches. 180, I expanded a little bit on that. Then my name, the ambassador, signature of bearer. That's a picture of me back in 1993 with the Star of David with the crucifix on the inside of that. It has the authorization, which is coded to show the address, 1993. Speaks about vaccinations, which the scriptures prohibit defiling a temple with vaccinations. Then it has the driver's license. In the French, it's permis conducive. So this is the out-of-state driver's license or out-of-country driver's license, state, country. And so this has been presented, that exhibit that I had there.
What exhibit number is that?
Huh?
What exhibit number is that?
Oh, it's exhibit V.
B?
V is in Victor.
V. Mr. Dixon, do you have that copy?
I don't have copies of any.
Oh. You haven't
V,
seen
and
it.
this was a
V.
prosecution exhibit as well. A picture of it in any way, a picture of this.
Yeah, and I just want to make that clear, Your Honor. I believe the state entered that as an exhibit as well. So this may be duplicative, but one of the prosecution exhibits
I'll testify out there.
photographs, I think, that were of the jockey. So,
All right, go ahead.
And the bottom it says notify in case of emergency in the United States of
All right,
America.
if we can move on. The
Okay,
documents there, Mr. Dixon will review it.
that's Exhibit B. Exhibit W, this is also one of the prosecution's exhibits, was the certified dismissal in Boulder City. And the city attorney at that time was Gary Booker. I think the judge has been around, Michael Dickerson, know that he's a former district attorney for this county, but he was a city attorney then. He said, Mr. Blandino, I'll dismiss these charges except for the license. Just fax me a copy of your driver's license, and it shows in the prosecution's exhibit as well as this, that's a fax page of Exhibit V that shows the driver's license, my picture, and that's what I faxed him, and he did in fact dismiss those charges, and they certified, I got a certified copy of that because God told me that you're gonna probably need this at some
Here's
point
that,
in
Your
the
Honor.
future. That was
What
my
God
belief.
told me.
We'll move on.
Supreme Court of the United States, this is a letter that I just got care of 441 North 16th. That's how they address me here, because I can't leave the state without permission, and so that's Exhibit W. So on the night I was stopped, there was a lady with her light blown out on the passenger side. So I tried catching up to her and everything. It's at the stoplight, it was red. I got out of my truck. This is all on the body cam footage. I got out of my truck. I wanted to warn her because I didn't warn her and she got in an accident, killed somebody. God would call me to account. If she got in an accident, I didn't do my best to try and stop it. It was on the way home. It was the third light out on a vehicle that I saw, and I was able to warn one of the prior two vehicles that they had a light out. So when they saw me, they made me turn off there. Martinez and Neeson were not even going to give me a ticket. They were going to give me a warning. Then they said, well, get a ticket. Then Officer Meade they put a tickler on the computer and he was to show up. He testified at my prior trial. This guy, in my opinion, had
Objection, Your Honor.
Well, if we're getting into
48.
the opinion, I sustain the objection is the opinion of, you can testify as to what occurred and what happened without giving an opinion and why the officer was there.
okay. They were going to let me go on this, issue a citation. He got there and he ordered these people around and ordered to arrest them. The passport, driver's license had already been put away. He said, wait a minute, what did he present? Oh, I want this guy arrested. I want this is what he said directly to me. I want him arrested. I want his probation, a hold put on him by probation because of this felony. And these two young officers, Martinez and Neeson, they complied with that in just about every respect. His demeanor was very vicious and hateful. It was obvious that he wanted to hurt me. And so he thought that, well, I'm going to his thinking. But anyway, he ordered them to do so when they weren't going to do that. And so the truck was towed. He pulled the plates off right there and then, confiscated them. I said, what are you going to do with those plates? He says, I don't know. I'm going to turn them in. They never got into evidence as far as I know. And I took a full day to try and track down where those plates were, but it was to no avail. There was no way to recover, so I had to get plates for that truck. After I got out of the tow yard, put it into the driveway, didn't drive it again since, or travel in it, or anything.
Okay, I'm sorry to stop it there, but guys, look at this. First of all, I got $10 from Uncle Artie's Prior Bill of Stupidity. Thank you so much, Uncle Artie. Blandino is Exhibit M, moron. Toledo will be Exhibit P, peon. Hez blew up the jukebox. We didn't have any Yanni in it, so he used 12 sticks of dynamite to blow it up. Happy dance for unclean hands. Absolutely. And we got 20 pounds for Paula Scotland. Thank you so much. I'm a Quaker. We affirm the etymology is quite important, and the difference is our core values. Truth is one of them. Plus, when we're standing, he made me seasick. QED, guilty. That's exactly right. I love that. I hear your happy dances, guys. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Here you go. Happy dance. All right, another one. Here we go. All right, and let's throw in a third because why not? All right, yes. All right, and you know what else I was thinking today? Because you guys are so generous and so awesome, and I love you guys so much. I might do a full length happy dance, no matter how many likes we get, just because I haven't done one in a while. And why not? They're better when I'm in my big chair, but I think I'm going to do one for you guys today in a few minutes. But until we get to that, let me respond to these comments. Obviously, that it wasn't Yanni. Don't lie. It started with me shooting the jukebox because of Leonard Skinner, but I blew it up not because of Yanni. It's because there was no Donny Osmond. All right. I wanted to hear the Osmonds. Crazy horses. Woo, woo, crazy horses. Woo. That's my favorite Osmond song. And Paula Scotland, that's the thing. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier, is that it's like that's the whole reason why the courts allow oath or affirmation, right? Because they're aware that that's a thing. But Blandino's like, no, it's the same thing. No, it's not. That's important. There's a reason why they chose that. No, Jason, that was the problem, was that all he had was Freebird. I wanted to listen to The Breeze. Anyway. Bye-bye, baby, is a good love. Bye-bye, baby, it's been a good love. All right. Anyway, yes, exactamundo. What's Graham talking about? Wait a minute. Did I get another Cash App? Oh, my goodness. Little Chihuahua says I got a Cash App. Let's see. Holy crap, hammer sandwich sauce. Thank you so much, Little Chihuahua. Thank you. I love it. Here's a happy dance for Little Chihuahua Big World. Thank you so much for the Cash App. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh my goodness gracious me. You guys are amazing. I appreciate the generosity. You don't know how much that means to me, especially now. When I came here, it cost me everything to get here, and now, I'm still playing catch up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. Seriously. Anastasia saw Donnie and Marie in concert. That's amazing. I bet you that was actually a great show, though. I was a big Donny Osmond fan back in the 70s. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people were. Cool Clear Water said Marie's a babe. Donnie was a dork, but don't even talk about Jimmy. Good music, though. Yep. I was listening to Brian Poston, Grandpa Metal. I'm more metal than Brian has. Hey, remember, Gene Simmons was his moil, so he's more metal than you. Back to Kim. I love you guys.
So, my legal residence is the Kingdom of Israel. I haven't been there yet. I travel a great deal, Montana, Arizona, I did. And so I was well aware of the law. I looked the law on seasonal residency and so on and so forth. And I determined that without violating the law, as long as I leave the state even once per year, that I could maintain a legal residence somewhere else. And I could maintain even other residences like in Arizona and then Montana, which I've been back to Montana and Arizona since 1993. And I've traveled in that vehicle. In the Kingdom of Israel, I'm licensed to drive conventional motor vehicles, bicycles, horses, carriage. In this state, I've driven backhoes and construction equipment on the road that don't go to 35 miles an hour with the orange triangle, for which a driver's license is not required at all. With an orange slow-moving vehicle triangle in the back of the backhoe on highways, Highway Rancho 95, and not on the freeway. They won't let you go that slow on the freeway. So I used to have a Nevada driver's license and I used to have an Arizona driver's license. So, but I want what my king wants. He wants maximum amount of freedom. So long as we love our neighbor as ourselves and love God with all our might and do no harm. There is no harm that is done. I have people that will monitor whether, once you get to a certain age, whether you're capable of driving. My mom gave up her capability of driving because she was not able
All
to
right,
do it.
we can move on from there, all right?
So anyway, my understanding of all of this stuff is that this is a valid license. I believe that I've had it ratified by the Boulder City Court, by the municipal court. I've been stopped by other officers. They look at it and they say, that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes they have written me a ticket, sometimes they haven't. But the validity of this, I believe, even if there's any kind of dispute, it's arguable that this is a permissible thing under the statute. There was no evil design. If there has been a mistake of fact in that, whether this is
Oh my goodness gracious me. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are absolutely amazing. You have no idea. Oh, I love you guys so much. I just got another Cash App. Holy crap. Here's your happy dance. All right. Yes, thank you so much. Holy cow. My phone's like, hey, here you go. Oh, man. I love you guys so much. It came across under your real name, though, so I don't know if you want me to say that on the air, but thank you so much. You know who you are. Oh, my goodness. You know what? This is going so good. I'm going to throw in another happy dance. And like I said, especially now, you guys have earned it. I'm going to do a full-length happy dance today after this, just because I love you guys so much and you deserve it. Here you go. All right. Yes, thank you. Here's some more Blandino for you. Thank you, guys. I love you guys so much. You have no idea.
this is a valid driver's license or not. It is not geared toward any kind of thing to harm anybody. I know I'm capable of traveling in a car, driving in a car, a horse-drawn carriage, whatever. I have the capability to do that. And the statute, as I read it, says a valid driver's license. And to me, there is no reason under my religious beliefs and practices that this shouldn't be held up as valid. It has, as far as Judge Roger was concerned, the Boulder City Court was concerned, other police officers are concerned. I think it was just my misfortune that Detective Meade had an axe to grind with me. And so that's why, you know, he charged initially, because I had this and a duplicate. There's two of these. I had a duplicate just in case one was lost. I was initially charged with 2 counts for having the same document. which to me was just incredibly bizarre. So, again, just to wrap up, my legal residence is not there. I would be able to travel, if not, I would love to go to Israel, especially now that World War III has just begun. And, to maybe help out in that cause. The state of Israel, it's held under stewardship until Jesus comes back, and travel to Montana and then to Arizona and all, but it would have been foolish for me. Those permanent plates on that truck were something, so you don't have to mess with it ever again. But if a vehicle in Montana is 11 years or older, you're allowed to get permanent plates. You pay somewhere around, or you remit somewhere around 3 years worth of normal registrations, and then it's permanent for as long as you own that truck. As far as they're concerned, until the year 99, those plates are good. And so if you can keep a truck alive that long, well, God bless you. So, as I look at the law, I've heard over and over again throughout my whole life that the law is meant to be used as a shield, not a sword. So I constructed my affairs in such a way that I could have a maximum amount of freedom without harming anybody in any way. As the expression's growing up, you have the right to extend your arm, but it ends at somebody else's chin. And so this is the creed, and this is what my king teaches: love God with all your might, and then love your neighbor as yourself. And that's what I've done in trying to stop that lady from driving with a blown out light. It could have stayed in my truck, but God would have held me to account if she got in an accident. And I had a chance to prevent that by letting her know, hey, pull off the side of the road, you got a bad headlight. Almost got hit by a car one time myself, because I thought it was a motorcycle going down the road at night, and it turns out it was just a car with a burnt out headlight. Almost walked right in front of it, right into that car, coming through a crosswalk. So I live by the scriptures, the 10 Commandments, the New Testament, and there's just no reason that this can't be deemed acceptable, what I'm doing here. I would love to have maintained my citizenship of the United States if possible, but God called me to do this. And so.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Blandino.
I need to get some water. I'm getting caught now.
You get some water, please. Mr. Dickerson, the cross-examination, and I'll allow you to quit.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm gonna get him some water.
Yeah.
You want to grab the exhibits while he drinks the water?
Yeah.
Here, let me gather them up.
You're good.
No,
Nope, you're good. Thanks. No, you're good. Thank you.
People say that's good, and that's not good. Let me drop something.
Okay, so Jason D says, isn't one of the commandments thou shalt not BS in court? Actually, when I read that, I wanted, because the way Blandino uses, the Bible for so much of his arguments, I wanted to say that depending on which translation you're talking about, the specific commandment would be, thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. He's talking about himself. He's not talking about someone else. So technically, it's not bearing false witness against someone else, right? So I don't know, but I would think that would be the argument he would make if it turned out he was lying about something. And he said, well, you say you're religious, whatever, don't the commandments say don't lie? Well, it doesn't say don't lie. It says don't lie against someone else. But I'm lying against myself. So then I don't know. I'm just saying I could see him pulling that out of his rectum, almost killed him. Another 20 pounds from Paul of Scotland. The worst I ever wish on people is that they meet themselves in someone else. Yes, there you go. Yes, that's beautiful. I love that sentiment. Here's your happy dance, buddy. Let's go. I hope you meet someone like you someday. There you go. Yes, here's your evidence. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, and now another round of applause for Paul from Scotland. And in fact, we haven't seen him in so long. Let's give him 3 cheers. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Hannah says, that suit is so blue, it even has the blueprint scale squares on it. That's awesome. The Donna Rogers in the house. What's up? We're just watching Blandino's testimony from yesterday. And again, for those of you just joining us, you're going to see in a couple minutes his testimony. It's just going to stop in the middle of the testimony. Part 2 of this, with the rest of it, because it was so long that they cut it in half, premieres today on our Nevada Judges. Definitely go to our Nevada Judges and check it out. Premieres today at 10:30 Central Standard Time. Definitely don't miss that. And people have been joking because our Nevada Judges are the same people who covered Chili's trial. So now we're thinking, wouldn't it be hilarious if he ends up in prison with Chili and they end up in the same cell? Get these 2 together. Oh man, I'd love to be on a fly on the wall of a conversation between this guy and Chili. Oh my goodness. That would be.
So you are a convicted felon.
Which one? What are you referring to?
Tell me.
I'm sorry, I thought you were asking me questions.
Question is, are you a convicted felon?
One's convicted,
All right.
And when was that?
1994 or 5.
Okay, so you're convicted of a felony in 1994 5.
Yeah.
You were also convicted of a felony in 2022.
That conviction's not final though yet.
It is final conviction because it's subject to a judgment of conviction, which you actually have included here, right?
No, a conviction's not final until the appeal's decided and the appeal's still pending.
Strike is non-responsive and is improperly.
Do so. Do you have a JOC on this?
I put that in as exhibit if you want. It's,
You get a JOC on the
Yeah.
exhibit?
He moved it in.
Well,
Yeah,
the court.
he's
allowed
tried.
it. All right.
But I may speak, Judge.
Hold on, no, not right now. You can cross again.
Okay. So while he's looking for that. Do you know what
No,
number that
no.
is? The exhibit T is the judgment and exhibit U is the amended. For speed's sake, I help you this way. If this is gonna take a minute, I could use the bathroom.
No, you cannot. You have to sit right there.
If I get it.
Mr. Dickerson, hold on now. If you need a bathroom break, we'll give him a bathroom break. You have some questions you wish to ask him, maybe get this done quickly.
I do have plenty of questions. I just, I'm sorting through his exhibits here, Your Honor.
So, Your Honor, when Mr. Blandino brought out his exhibits, it was, I think, decided that, and Mr. Dickerson said, I want some time between this time.
Just take a bathroom break right now.
I'm good.
Well, you know, he needs a bathroom break, I'll give him a bathroom break, that's all the discovery will open. Blandino, you're still under oath, you're gonna be able to, take a bathroom break in 5 minutes on this matter, be back here, all right?
I'll be less than that, but thank you, Judge.
Sorry about that. Mr. Dickerson snuck in, I didn't see him come in.
He's a C.
All right, State of Nevada versus, Kim Dennis Blandino, 22 CR 041030. Mr. Blandino did take a break to the restroom, but so you understand you're still under oath and under perjury.
Right.
All right, Mr. Dickerson.
So defendants proposed U and T. I'll review these.
You got exhibit
We would have,
once I get the exhibits that you had, that had been admitted already previously.
Yeah, if I could get all mine, that'd be awesome. I have no objection to you and taking it.
The remaining will come in as court exhibits. Or granted.
Judge, what does that mean as court exhibits? Is there a distinction?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, couple things. First of all, I just got another Cash App. Oh my goodness gracious me, you guys are so amazingly generous. Thank you so much. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Here's your happy dance. All right, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys. Seriously. Holy cow. Anyway, with what's happening with this trial right now. So I will say this. The whole thing with how he's making this argument at the moment, right? And it's the prosecutor. Now, I'm not too keen on a couple things that happened. First of all, what just happened, when Blandino asked for a bathroom break, the prosecutor was like, no, you can't go to the bathroom. You got to sit there. And then the judge is like, if the dude's got to go to the bathroom, let him go to the bathroom. And now coming up, the prosecutor is going to do something else too that's pretty shady. And when he does it, Blandino immediately catches it and he gets pissed. Like you can see in his face. I've never seen Blandino this angry before. And I got to admit, I do think that the prosecution, the prosecutor did go a little bit like, see, this is the problem because dealing with this guy for all these years with all this stuff in court, I can see why you would have a bit of a like, you would get a little, but as the prosecuting attorney, his part of his job is being able to control those emotions and not bring them out in court. So again, on one hand, I could see how you could be extraordinarily frustrated when you're dealing with Blandino. But on the other hand, as a prosecuting attorney, part of his job is to be able to not let that stuff get to you and to express that stuff in court. And he already started with the whole, no, I'm not going to let you take a bathroom break deal. And then the judge had to step in and say, let the dude go pee, will you please? You know, with basically is what he's, not literally, but that's basically what he said. But then again, when he gets into his questioning, you're going to see it. He's going to say something that's going to set Blandino off. And that's the one time that I'm going to say I agree with Blandino. I think that the prosecutor did go a little bit too far the other way just for a second, but it does happen. Anyway, what's going on? What's going on? Did I get? Okay, no, all right. Sorry, guys. It's just I got to keep checking because today I keep getting all these wonderful, amazing cash apps from you guys because you're the most generous, most wonderful, beautiful, greatest fans in the world. I always say that, and it's a fact. I love you guys. Let's watch some more of this Kim Blandino being Kim Blandino.
Blandino, it's your time to answer questions, not ask questions. So can I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
So, Mr. Blandino, when was it that you came to Clark County, Nevada? The first time?
The first time?
Yeah.
Trying to think. I know it was 1963,
How old were you then?
either 7 or 8. I don't know what month it was. That's what I was trying to gauge.
Okay, and how long did you stay that?
Well, I was 7 or 8 years old, as long as my parents did.
And how long was that?
I don't recall.
Did you ever leave?
Yes, all the time.
Okay.
I traveled. I told you I traveled.
And so when did you actually come to stay here for a significant amount of time?
What define here? What's here?
Clark County, Nevada.
Is Clark County, Nevada include Jean Prison, Indian Springs Prison?
Yeah.
It does? Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Does it include Lovelock, Nevada?
No.
It doesn't include Lovelock, Nevada? Okay. That's more complicated. Was when I was in prison from the 90s, I was moved around a lot.
And were you residing in Clark County when you were in prison?
No, not according to my understanding of the law.
When that case occurred, that was in the 90s, right?
Yes.
You had 2 children here in Clark County, Nevada.
Are you asking if they were born here or they were
They were
living
here.
at the time? Yeah, yeah, right, yes.
Okay. And so at that point in time, you had children here in Clark County, Nevada. Ultimately, you took them out of the state of Nevada, right?
Ultimately, what,
You know, without getting into too much of what occurred there, right? You're ultimately convicted of taking them out of the state of Nevada, but then you took them from here, from Clark County, right?
yeah, went to Montana and then later to Arizona. And I was picked up by the FBI in Arizona for clarification.
Okay. You come back to Nevada, you're ultimately convicted out here. You reside in Nevada.
Not my legal residence, no.
Okay. How long were you in Nevada from that point? From the time of your conviction and being sent to prison in the 90s?
Are you talking about the time I was brought back?
Talking about it all the time.
Well, that's not all the time. I can't understand a question like that. So if I can clarify, I'll flesh this out for you. When I was brought back by the FBI here, I was put into the Clark County Detention Center, okay, for 28 days. So my understanding of the statute was it didn't change residency. So I'm not a resident when I'm in jail.
I'm asking you, how long were you in Nevada?
What were the years that you were incarcerated? Do you remember the month and years?
Let's see, in 1993,
1993, you were incarcerated
for 28 days,
for 28 days. and
I was let out on
All right, so in
bond, so I was still a prisoner.
so in 94, were you residing, were you in Nevada? Physically in Nevada?
Yeah, I was a prisoner in Nevada.
95, were you physically in Nevada?
Yeah, I was a prisoner.
96, were you physically in Nevada?
I was a prisoner in the Department of Prisons.
97, you were in Nevada? Physically in Nevada?
Yeah, in the prison,
98, were you physically in Nevada?
part of it, I got released on
When did you
May
get released? May?
27 of 1998, I believe it was.
All right, in 1990, May or June of 1998, were you physically in Nevada?
Not the whole time, I traveled.
Where did you maintain your residence?
I maintained a residence in Arizona, and I maintained the residence that I went when they took the kids
Sorry, Mr. Dixon.
in
Go on, come on, I just
Montana.
wanted to-
I maintained those residences, but neither one of those residences was my legal residence.
All
My legal residence was in the Kingdom of Israel.
Okay.
Mr. Dixon, I'm
Okay.
sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. And so, one of the places that you were residing was in Nevada.
But not my legal residence, right?
Okay, so you're residing in Nevada, 1998, you said, right?
Yeah.
1999, you're also residing in Nevada.
Traveling, all the one time traveling.
You were also residing in Nevada during that time?
Maintained a residence in Montana that I testified to and gave exhibits on, and in Arizona, and then I traveled extensively.
Okay. So, before your most recent conviction, you weren't on parole, right?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding that.
So before we talked about your recent conviction, we moved those judgments of conviction in, right? I had no objection
Right.
to those, right? Everything with that case starts happening, but before you're arrested on that case, you weren't on parole from your prior conviction, right?
What time are we talking? I'm confused.
Let's say early 2019.
Okay, so early 2019.
Yeah.
Okay, traveling.
Okay, travel.
Yeah.
But you had been staying for some time with a woman named Edie Pendergrass?
Yes, right? Evelyn's her full name, we just shorten it. But I was,
How long did you reside with her?
well, traveling, but I checked in on her as much as I could. She was, had some health problems I had to take care of.
In fact, I mean, over and over in your court case, you'd indicated to the court, including Judge Levitt multiple times, that you had to be out here in Clark County, Nevada at 44116 North 16th Street, right? To take care of Evelyn Pendergrass, right?
She did not require 24-hour care,
Okay.
so I could still travel.
Okay. How much care did she require?
Well, it depends. I mean, it progressed to where she required more care near the end.
How much care did she require? How often did you have to care for her?
Well, as you know, from September to October, I couldn't get any care because I was
Of what
incarcerated.
year?
Huh?
Of what year?
Oh, September of 20, what was that,
22?
2022? What was I arrested? September 2022, the years blended. Yeah, 2022 to October 31, I was in the Clark County Detention Center.
So before May of 2019, how long had you been staying with Miss Evelyn Pendergrass?
Traveled and then would always,
How long had you been staying with her?
I don't understand the question as phrased.
What don't you understand about it? It's a very simple question. How long had you been staying with Evelyn Pendergrass?
What do you mean by staying?
Staying at her residence at 441 North 16th Street.
Off and on, I traveled, I told you that.
You would agree that 441 North 16th Street here in Las Vegas, Clark County, Nevada, was originally Evelyn Pendergrass's residence, right?
Exactly, that's true.
You would agree that at some point in time, you took control of that residence, right?
No,
Oh, so would it be your testimony that you in fact,
wait a minute, what's some point in time? Are you saying prior to death?
prior to death,
Okay,
what
what do you mean by take control?
originally that property was her property, right?
I'm asking you, I don't understand take control. What does that phrase mean?
Originally, that property was her property, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And then at some point in time, you took part in a transaction to sell that property to a foreign party and then lease it back from them. Is that right?
what do you mean take part in? I don't understand that.
You took part in that transaction, right?
What do you mean take part in? I don't understand.
You actually helped execute paperwork.
I helped Evie with the paperwork, yes.
Okay.
If you want to say it that way, I helped Evie with the paperwork to sell her house to another party.
Yet, you were still living in the house, right? Even after the sale.
And traveling,
And Evelyn Pendergrass was still living in the house.
right?
And about what year was that sale?
I'm sorry,
About what year was that sale?
I don't recall precisely.
Okay. Oh, before 2019, right?
Yes, it was definitely before.
Okay. So you helped sell Evelyn's house out from under her and help lease it back.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna object. I don't know if I can, Your Honor, but the characterization of you selling it out from under her, like, that's inflammatory.
I'll sustain.
Okay, so you
Please don't
sell.
do that again.
We just,
Put your
Please,
finger
all
down.
right, enough,
Put your
enough.
finger down.
all right? This is enough.
He's trying to
Bob,
antagonize
Mr.
me, Judge.
Blandino, just answer the question.
But he said he's trying to
Blandino.
antagonize me. He's trying to push my
Mr.
buttons.
All it is enough.
I think you should
All right.
reprimand him right now.
Move on, move on.
Sell it out from under her.
All right. Ask the question, Mr.
Pull the
Mr.
rug out
Dickerson.
from under
Mr.
her.
Blandino, if you have one more outburst, you're going to be removed from the stand.
I'm sorry, Judge, I apologize.
All right, let's go. Go ahead and ask the questions.
The residence was hers before that. That's what I'm saying.
Before what?
Before you helped her sell it to a foreign investor and then rent it back from them, right?
Yes, it was hers.
Okay. And she was an elderly lady at the time, right?
The finance.
Okay, so that right there, guys, is the part I was talking about earlier when I said that's the one time where I absolutely agree with Kim, because the way he plays these word games and everything you say, well, what do you mean by that word? What are you trying to say with that word? What is it? It's nonstop. It's very frustrating and too much. But the phrase sold out from under her, yeah, I would have a problem with that too. That was not cool. So I definitely am on Kim's side with that one thing. Absolutely. I think that was out of line for the prosecutor to put it in those words. If he's trying to build the case, like if he honestly believes, based on the evidence, that she was, because in a minute they're going to get into how old she was at the time, and she was like in her 90s. So if he's trying to legitimately make the case that she didn't know what she was doing when she agreed to sell the property and have Kim take over, there are ways to do that without. So when you sold the house out from under her, no, that was shady. I agree with Kim on this one. So one thing I agree with him on when it comes to him going after the words and phrasing that someone used to explain something. Graham thinks the prosecution should be asking questions like that. Well, that's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying. It's not like I'm against the idea of the prosecution trying to make that argument. It's the fact that the way Kim always doubles down on the specific words that are being used, it's always nutty. But in that one case, specifically the phrase sold out from under her, I can understand why someone would take issue with that phrase. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not the argument that the prosecution is trying to make or the question that he asked, but the way he asked it. Again, considering that Blandino is going after every single word that everyone says, every other time he does, it's like, oh, come on, dude, come on. You know what they're saying, but with that, no, you're purposely going out of your way to paint a bad picture when you use that specific phrasing. So I get, and even the judge agreed. The judge, he pointed at his lawyer, telling him to object. His lawyer objected, and the judge sustained the objection because the judge agreed. That was, you see, that phrase was kind of, backhanded by the prosecution. But once the objection was sustained, that's kind of the point, because Blandino wanted to argue after that. And it's like, look, I sustained the objection. It's done. It's sustained. Now move on. So, but anyway, that's where we're at. It's almost done because, again, like I said, it gets cut off. And then the rest of it is going to be premiering on Our Nevada Judges at 10:30 a.m. Central Time today. Don't forget to tune in to Our Nevada Judges and check it out. I want to make sure I give them all the credit in the world because, one, they deserve it. How much have they given us? Between Blandino, Roger Hilligus, and Chili, Our Nevada Judges have covered all three of those guys. Oh, so much great content we got from Our Nevada Judges. So definitely support them. Subscribe if you're not. Our Nevada Judges is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And here we go back to it.
Elderly.
How old was she?
Since I don't know the exact year, she was in her 90s.
Okay,
I was hoping she made it to 100
okay. And you were living with her, helping her,
and traveling.
and that's before 2019.
Right.
Okay. And then come 2019, May, in fact, 2019, you were not on parole for your prior conviction, right?
Oh, on the one from the 90s.
Yeah.
No, I was not on parole.
Okay. You're not on probation.
Right.
Okay. And you're maintaining a residence over at 441 North 16th Street here in Los Angeles.
As well as the one I'm maintaining in Montana and the one I'm maintaining in Arizona due to my traveling.
So that's a yes, right?
Yes, with an explanation.
Okay. So yes, you're maintaining a residence there for 441.
Well, actually, and technically, Evie's maintaining.
Okay. Well, you had a room there, right?
She made a room available to me,
You would sleep there, right?
not always,
But you would
from
sleep
time
there.
to time, yes.
Okay. You had an office there.
Well, it was a bedroom office, you've seen it in the pictures.
Yeah, you had lots of documents that you're working on there,
Right.
right? And that's where you maintain your documents, right?
Not all of them,
Okay. Where were the other ones?
storage,
Where was that storage?
don't recall.
Okay. You
I
don't know?
know I had some things stored, but my sons my son's place where he's staying with his grandfather.
Okay. And in fact, you had been staying over at that residence for years before May of 2000.
And traveling.
And then ultimately in May of 2019, you're ultimately arrested, is that right?
Prisoner from that point on,
Okay. And
till today, actually.
until today, you're still staying at 441 North 16th Street, right?
And traveling.
Now, since this point, Evelyn Pendergrass has died, right?
Well, she died March 23 of 20, wait a minute. It's been 1 year, March 28th of 2023.
Okay, so March of 2023, Evelyn Pendergrass dies, and you're still living in the residence from that time forward.
I'm the executor of her estate. I still have things I have to do for her. She's got tons of stuff in that house that I have to maintain and take care of as the executor.
All right. So you had discussed with the court or your counsel had this document from the Nevada DMV notice of denial or disqualification. Is that right?
True.
You would agree that this document indicates that it's to inform you that you do not qualify to receive driving privileges from the Department of Motor Vehicles for the following reason. Unsatisfactory documentation to receive driver's license, right?
That's what they put down.
Okay, and then they indicated there several things. You would agree those things include no birth certificate.
Can I take a look at that again? My memory of what they wrote is not 100%.
Yeah, bro, John.
You may.
Let me give you a second to look at this, okay?
Okay. You want me to repeat what
No,
I said?
I'll just
Okay.
ask you a question.
State, different out of state. Yeah, okay, okay.
Good.
Looks good.
That refreshes your.
That doesn't mean I can't forget it by the time you get over there. The memory's not what it used to be.
Well, we can keep doing this, it's okay.
All right.
So that would include no birth certificate, right?
Did they put that on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
No passport?
I don't think it says no passport.
Okay, so you want to stand up there and read it to him?
Yeah.
Because if.
Yeah, because I think he's,
Just
he
hold
does these
on,
little
hold on,
tricks.
Mr. Blandino, he'll read it to you. It's an exhibit. Are we moving this into evidence at this point?
Sure, we can move this in.
This does not say no
What is this?
passport on it.
What exhibit is this?
Oh, I'm sorry, it does say, no, I'm sorry, I
Or not.
apologize. It does
What
say
is
no
it?
birth certificate. comma.
Just,
Okay.
Exhibit. What's the exhibit number or?
you could just make this next in line for the state, that's fine. I think that's 6. Yeah.
Well, I had put an exhibit
Oh,
letter
he's,
on.
then we're gonna make it that. What exhibit is it? Defense exhibit what?
You got the list there. Are you asking me, Judge?
Would be exhibit G, Your Honor.
Exhibit G.
G. Defense
Exhibit
exhibit
G,
G,
we
yeah.
stipulate to a minute at the time of preliminary hearing, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or, I'm sorry, trial.
Back me up.
All right, guys. So that was the end of part one. And like I said, the rest of it will be premiering on Our Nevada Judges this morning at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget to check that out. Check out Our Nevada Judges. Jason Gutterman. What is this dude up to now? Oh, man. Are you doing okay this morning? Yes, Mitch. All is good. Yes, this is Blandino's testimony from yesterday. He was on the stand for so long that half of it was yesterday on Our Nevada Judges. The other half premieres this morning at 10:30 a.m. This is still the traffic case. With everything that it's been going on with him, this is still the traffic case. And he's been on the stand for an hour and a half just now. And again, the rest of it is going to be this morning at 10:30 on Our Nevada Judges. And the whole time he's talking about how, like, oh, well, I don't need a license because I'm a resident of the Kingdom of Israel. And this is what he's saying on the stand. He's basically saying, which doesn't exist yet, but it will when Jesus comes back. So I'm getting ready. And I've already gone to the DMV and wrote them a note that said, I'm a citizen of the Kingdom of Israel. So that's official and legal and means I don't need a license. So you guys need to dismiss this case. Anyway, This is about a traffic citation. Why am I not surprised? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Clean Blandino is in full effect. Anyway, you guys have been so great, so wonderful, so generous, so amazing today that I promised you guys a full-length happy dance just in celebration of how much I love you guys. You deserve it. So let's go ahead. Oh, yeah, Hannah says, yes, the platypus hat. Papa got us those, but not that one. You know what? This specific one, because I got this from the Disney store years ago. They do have one just like it, but it's got ropes at the bottom, not buttons like this one. I don't know if they make, but I haven't seen the button one yet anywhere else. But there are other platypus hats. In fact, at one point, I had one that I gave to Ray that was just like a sun hat, you know, just a nice little sun hat that she would wear when we would do the happy dance together back in the day. So let's go ahead and give you guys a full length happy dance. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I love you guys. All right. Woo-wee. I love it. It's been a minute since I've done that. And that's the first time I did the full length one on this. It's not the same without my actual chair, you know, because it's like a bouncy chair. I mean, the bed's kind of bouncy because it's an air mattress, but at the same time, I don't want to pop it. This was a gift. The bed itself that I'm on right now was a gift from Uncle Artie's Bar and Grill of Stupidity. Thank you much, Uncle Artie, for that. And of course, these headphones I'm wearing right now were a gift from the amazing, the gorgeous, the beautiful, the unbelievable Ray Ray. All thoughts and prayers with her as always. Love Ray. And of course, the voodoo doll. Usually when I do that bit, I bring up the voodoo doll and smack him, but he was back there and I didn't want to, that was the one thing that's eventually I'm going to get myself an actual like desk, but I mean, all that's going to have to be after I go to Florida and get all my stuff. All my equipment for the show is there. I just brought my laptop with because that's all I can fit on the plane. So it is what it is. But eventually, when I get all my stuff back, we'll be able to go back to doing it the old way we used to. Glardy says, Ray rules. Yes, she does. Paula Scotland says, we love you tons. Never change for anyone. Hezokuai, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Mama Ray arrived home safe and sound. Please give a moment to Doc Leno's welcome stream. Oh, yeah. Doc Leno did a welcome home stream for her last night, and she actually showed up on panel. So that was great. I was there. Cool Clearwater was there. Of course, Doc Leno was there. Eventually, Will showed up, but that was right around the time that Ray had to drop. But it was great hearing her voice again. So anyway, let's see where we at. We got about half an hour left. I'll ask you guys, how do you want to handle it? Hez rules too. Congrats to Unclean Hands. Yes. Round of applause for Unclean Hands, ladies and gentlemen. His latest update is he's cancer-free. Also, an update about Frauditor News Network. Maggie is done with chemo, and she's almost done with her radiation. She's only got one more treatment left, and so that's it. And then after that, she's good for now. So congratulations to her as well. Absolutely. We love her too. Let's go. Absolutely. And she is my permanent co-host on the Saturday Night Snafu. Again, because she's been ill, she hasn't been around too much lately, but she's still officially the co-host, and she would have been on tomorrow's show, except there is no show tomorrow. I want to make sure everyone's aware of that, because I'm spending all day tomorrow just hanging out with the kids. Saturday is dedicated to the kids. That's what I came up here for, is to spend more time with them. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's all good. But yeah, that's all good. So she's doing better. Unclean's doing better. Again, Ray, unfortunately, when she made that big announcement a month ago or two, whatever it was, her health actually took a turn for the worse. But we're hoping, at least, the least amount of pain or anything, I just want her to feel better. I want to bring her some happiness and some joy, but at least she got home. That's what she always wanted, was to go back there. And now she's there. So at least she's got that going for her. We love Ray. Love you, Ray. Absolutely. Always and forever. Let's see. Graham Garland. Gradient. Graham Garfield. Graham Grayfiend. How old are you? He's old. He's old. He's not, I don't think he's as old as me. I'm pretty old. I know I don't look it, but I am. One of the things that I like about being back here too is that I could wear this more. Because in the old days, I always used to have this on. But then when I got to Florida, it was too hot to wear this hat all the time. But out here, actually today it was kind of cold. I shouldn't have put the heat on. I should have just put the hat on, and then I'd have an excuse to wear it the whole show. That would have been great. Anyway, guys, let's see. How old are you, physically or mentally? How about we do a simulcast for our cancer survivors? Ooh, that is not a bad idea. That's email me about that. That's something maybe we could work on doing something for that. He's older than me. That's all he's saying. That's all we need to know, Graham. It's all good. Checks your text. Oh my goodness gracious me. What's going on here? What in the hemoglobin and the haberdashery is going on here? Well, let's check it out. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, positively. All right. Yeah, eventually I would love to do that. let's see. That is an awesome idea. Yes, cool Clearwater, absolutely. Ooh, you know what? I'm not going to say it out loud right now because I'd like to talk to the other person involved before I say anything about it, just in case they're not into the idea. But I've been working with, okay, there's this guy. He calls himself the Grumpy Old Man. I've mentioned his channel a couple times. It's WDWL TV. That's the name of his YouTube channel. He's this old dude who just sits and tells these he's a fantastic storyteller. And I could listen to talk for hours. And he just goes on the air and he just tells these stories. Great stuff. He's a great dude. I actually am going to have him as a guest on the Saturday show eventually. I'm still working with him to finalize the date. And he's actually the guy who donated which it's in Florida right now. So, you know, we got to work around to that, work up to that point. But he donated the microphone that Black Heart Knight won in my last drawing before I came up here. He's a great dude, but he's a cancer survivor. So now I was just thinking, like, maybe that can be kind of like the thing. Like, when he's on the show, we could make that our cancer survivor special, you know. I don't know. We'll talk about it. And I got to talk to him. I can't, you know, speak for someone else and say, yeah, this guy's going to be involved too before we know. Because originally the whole purpose of having him on was to promote his channel. He's only got like 30 subs. So we really want to get him watching, or get more people looking over watching him. So anyway, let's see. What else do we got here, guys? We got about 20 minutes. Anything else you guys want to talk about, or you want to? Oh, Carrie T's a cancer survivor too. God bless. Absolutely. Oh, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. I love you, Ray Ray. Absolutely. We love Ray. Good morning, all. Hey, there she is. What's up, Batty? Welcome to the show. Great to see you again, as always, as well. But yes, that's definitely something we'll look into doing in the future. And let's see, what else do we have here? Let me close that out. All right. So, yes. Yeah, that's one of the few times that I don't care about monetization or anything when it comes to saying that specifically. I'm with it. Make room on the panel for all cancer survivors. Well, yeah, it would have to be a pretty insane panel to have everyone. But I mean, just, you know, I mean, again, it's just the thought that Uncle Artie just had. So we haven't even had a chance to discuss it yet or plan anything out. But that's definitely a great idea, to have a special to celebrate cancer survivors. Specifically, you know, I was talking about Unclean Hands and Frauditor News Network. But yeah, so many. Man, that stuff, that's a nightmare. I'm back, yo. Last squirrel standing, Wrangler, shoulder cannon. I kiss. Let's see. I survived stomach cancer from it. Wow. Should I say open panel? Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, Jason got it. Uncle Artie and I haven't even discussed it yet. It was just an idea he had 2 minutes ago, so I don't even know. And possibly in remembrance of those we have lost. Yeah, I'll tell you what. All right, not to just bring everything down, but just as a kid, and I'll never forget this because it was, for a little kid to have to deal with this, to carry this sort of burden, it was pretty intense. My introduction to cancer when I was a child was my cousin. He called me over one day because he was afraid, and he didn't know who he could talk to. He didn't want to tell his parents. He didn't want to, but he needed somebody's opinion. And I was just a little kid. I didn't even know. He was a teenager. I was a kid. But he trusted me, so he asked me. And he said, hey, come here. I want to show you something. I'm like, what? He's like, let me ask you, does this look bad to you? And he pulled down his pants and he had this bruise on his leg because he was playing football and he took a really bad hit. And the bruise wasn't going away. It was getting bigger and was turning purpler. And it was honestly one of the most gruesome things I've ever seen. That's why it's burned into my brain. I'll never forget that image. And he's like, does this look bad to you? Do you think I should like say something to somebody? And I was like, yeah, probably, because that does not look good. You know, but I was a little kid. I didn't know, so he made me promise not to tell anybody. So a couple years later, when he died of cancer, that was it. It had started there. It was already growing and it was spreading, and he had no idea. And he should have told everyone, and he should have went to the doctor, and who knows, they might have caught it in time. But I was a little kid, you know, I didn't know. He's like, you don't tell anybody. Okay, all right, I promise I won't. So I didn't. And then later on, when it turned out to be cancer, I was like, and like I said, I was just a little kid. So that's a pretty heavy burden to bear. But that was my introduction to cancer when I was a kid, was my cousin slowly dying from it and watching him die. That was not fun. But and his funeral was one of the craziest things I ever saw, because he was a really, really popular kid in his high school. I mean, seriously, like imagine like if Ferris Bueller passed away. I mean, the line of cars in that funeral procession was insane, because like the whole damn school showed up. Like every teenager that had a license was driving to that funeral. It was insane. I'd never seen anything like it before or since. It was crazy. He was so loved and so popular, and you know, that was it. And then not long after that, one of my aunts died of cancer, and it's horrible. I don't think there's anyone anywhere that doesn't hate cancer except maybe Chile. But anyway, yeah. So let's get off of that. Let's end the show on a happy note, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, we're not to think about those things and to think about all the good stuff in the world. I gave you guys a full-length happy dance. That was great. You guys have been so generous and so amazing today. Thank you guys for all the super chats. Thank you for all the Cash App donations. Oh my goodness gracious me. I love you guys so much. You're the best fans in the world. Oh, God bless you guys. God bless Ray. God bless Maggie. God bless Unclean Hands, Uncle Artie, all of you guys. Cool Clearwater. Absolutely. All of our thoughts and prayers are with all of you. Play one of my videos. That'll cheer everybody up. There we go. Oh no. Every time I try to play one of your videos, Uncle Artie, it scares me, because if I haven't watched it yet, I never know what you're going to do. It's usually not bad, but oh my goodness. Let's see. Uncle Artie's Bar and Grill of Stupidity. Let's go. Oh, okay. Yeah. This is good. This is Uncle Artie trolling Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Play one of the ones you've done before. Oh, okay. I could do that. Let's see. I always just default to the most recent. Let's see if I can find one that I know. Well, I like the famous lies and stupid quotes, so let's go with one of those. Stupid quotes from your host, Chili Con Carne Decastrated. Take it away, Chili.
But it just goes back to the simple fact: the state has become a monster against the people, and every single state constitution must be ratified.
Oh, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. JC Landry is here. Listen, JC, I said earlier that I was waiting for you because yesterday, after I went off the air, I checked my Cash App and I saw I got a Cash App from you that I didn't thank you for because I didn't see it until I got off the air. So thank you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. Here's your happy dance. In fact, I think I owe you 2 happy dances. So I'm going to go ahead and throw them out right now. Sometimes it doesn't work right. All right. Okay. All right. And you missed it. I did a full-length happy dance a few minutes ago. It's the first time I've done a full-length one in a while. That was a lot of fun. Everybody loves it. Any bets that Blandino and Cholito will team up if Blandino gets jail time? See, that's the thing. We were talking about that earlier. You know, if Blandino and Chili, like I said, I would love to be a fly on the wall in their cell to hear the kind of conversations those two would have. Holy poop hammer sandwich sauce. Oh, that would be insane. Oh, man. Anyway, we're just watching a gag video from Uncle Artie. Back to the video.
You're so dumb, you got me drinking, son of a... dumbass.
For more awesome content, like and subscribe. Do it now, or I'll hunt you down. Smash like, subscribe.
That's awesome. Round of applause for Uncle Artie's Barn Grill of Stupidity. Anyway, so we're coming right up on the 3-hour mark. Oh my goodness gracious me. What an amazing week this has been. On Monday, I did the 12-hour stream. And then, on Tuesday, we had Doc Leno up here and we had a nice conversation day. It was a lot of fun. And then, of course, today we had the Blandino trial. And don't forget, part 2 of the Blandino trial. Let's see, it's almost 9. So in about an hour and a half, our Nevada judges is going to premiere the second half of his testimony and the rest of the trial from yesterday. Oh, my goodness gracious me. I can't wait to see what other insanity he comes up with. It's Blandino. What do you want? So definitely check out our Nevada judges. Definitely support them. Thank you, guys. Love you guys. You're the best fans in the world. And let's go. Frauditor Follows You Rock. Thank you. Happy Friday, guys. Yes, it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Oh, yes. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We love the weekends. We love Fridays. We love you guys. Oh, man. Thank you guys for joining me. And like I always say at the end, oh, yeah, I'm all shook up.
I got arrested today for walking out of a museum with a painting. I got fired from the bank today. I got arrested today for walking out of a museum with a painting. I was just so confused because earlier when I asked security if I could take a picture, he said yes. I got fired from the bank today. A woman asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her.
My dog accidentally ate a whole bag of Scrabble tiles, so I took him to the vet. No word yet.
I haven't talked to my wife in 7 years. I don't want to interrupt her.
My wife got pissed at me because I accidentally overcooked the ribeye last night. I told her we all make mistakes. To the guy who invented zero, thanks for nothing.
My son asked me what it was like to be married, so I told him to leave me alone. And when he did, I said, "Why are you ignoring me?"
If 666 is all evil, then 25.8069758 is the root of all evil.
I got fired from the bank today.